What's going on, people of the internet? It's another day here in Vlogging Life Land. It's currently Tuesday, September the 18th. Just got my arse out of bed. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm still on the old night shift, so this 3:30 in the afternoon would be equivalent to waking up, say, at... You gotta go to work at 8 and you got up at 3. Well, I made a really huge mistake the other day. So as I mentioned prior, I had Sunday off. I worked Saturday for 12 hours and Sunday was my day off to do what I want. Well, the one thing I didn't do was make a video, as you can tell. However, the one thing I did do was get into the beers. And you know what? Just like Lay's potato chips, you can't just have one. Notice how there's none left? That's right, people. I went balls to the wall Sunday and I drank 17 frickin' beers. Well, let's just say that's never happening again. Holy. What the heck is he attacking? What are you attacking? Oh, it's this fox. I don't know, he was like standing right here in the middle of the kitchen. All of a sudden he darts off into the living room like he saw a squirrel or something. Thought we were gonna have a little warfare on our hands with the wildlife. But no, as I was saying, I'll never do that again. Drinking 17 beers, guys, back to bickety back. And then yesterday, holy, the devastation that I felt was ridiculous. All I gotta say is I was so hungover yesterday that I couldn't do anything. I literally got up at 10 o'clock, was sick, came downstairs, was sick, cleaned myself up, cleaned up the mess I made, came back upstairs, popped a couple Tylenols to kill the headache, drank about 52 ounces of water to try and get the dryness out of my body, went back to bed, woke up at 4 still feeling like a bag of smashed arseholes. I was like, okay, this sucks. That's it. It's a good and a bad thing that I drank all that beer. It's a good thing because now there's no beer in the house. It's a bad thing because yesterday was just a bad time because of it. But luckily it didn't affect my weight loss any. I'm still under 260, so that's a pretty good thing. Because man, that would have been upsetting if it would have put me up to like 268 again. Been like all that work gone because of one night of binge. It's bullshit. I had this problem lately. As you can see, the mustache and goatee are getting out of control. And I've been thinking about trying to do a new style. However, as you guys may remember from the earlier days of vlogging life, I had this mirror in the bathroom, this oval mirror. And it was a good mirror. I could actually see myself in it. Well, see, when you live with a girl, they tend to like to change things in your house to benefit them or to suit what they want or whatever the case may be. So my ex at the time decided, hey, I want to replace the mirror. So she went and bought this mirror. That's a nice mirror, right? Yeah, you guys can really see a lot of stuff in that mirror. It's not a medicine cabinet, it just hangs there. But the problem is my eyesight is here. You see what happens when I try to shave my head? I literally gotta go into like a squatting motion in order to see myself. Notice how my foot is hanging out the door. Yeah, not awesome. So, looking at this mirror, it looks like it's just a finishing nail holding that hook in. Let's go to the garage and get the hammer. We're gonna raise that mirror. See, keep in mind, she was like a lot shorter than me. So when she hung it, she didn't consider that I might use it. So she hung it up for her use. Back then, I guess she did use it a lot more than me because, you know, women makeup and all that other junk. I was still going out to the barber and getting my head shaved because I wasn't doing it myself yet. It wasn't until after Jules that I realized 20 bucks at Walmart gets you a razor kit and you can totally shave your own head for a fraction of the cost of going to see the barber. And the best part about it is you don't have to sit there and wait for a half an hour just to get seated on a chair. You get your head blasted for 10 minutes. Now, where the hell's my hammer? Got it! I always thought I had that lightweight hammer in the house. It's like one of these claw hammers, but it's just really light, and I guess I don't. I must have brought that one out to the garage too. Alrighty, so the first thing we're gonna do is take this mirror off and put it on the floor. And check. Next I gotta pull this thing out, which is pretty good in there. It's actually painted in there. That's gonna be fun. Alright, let's do that. And check. So there's the old hole. I'm gonna bring it up to about there, pretty close to the crack. So the mirror's nice and high. And check. Now let's hang the mirror. Booyakasha! She's up, she's good, she's golden. I can now see my whole face. Let's shave. So much better. Still plan on doing a workout today and then having a shower afterwards. I'll trim up the neck beard here, but whew, Let me tell you, this goatee thing was really starting to piss me off. I don't know how people can have them. So I just basically used my head razor on the lowest possible setting and just went around my face and gave me a 5 o'clock shadow. I think it looks better. So like I said, after doing all that drinking Sunday yesterday, I was pretty horrible. Like I was trying to do some high intense interval training here and I couldn't get the bike above 35 without getting gut rot. That was really upsetting. I like to work out. It's actually my new booze, if you will. Like, you know, giving her on the exercise bike or doing a hit on the Bowflex. That's like my new alcohol or you know, whatever. My new friggin' getaway. It wasn't until like last night I just sat there at work, drank some coffee and finally started feeling normal again. Like it took me all day to recoup. And then on my breaks I went outside and I started trekking around and giving her. And I ended up putting in like 65 minutes of workout between the 2 breaks and the 45-minute lunch. It felt really good. I was like, okay, good, I'm coming back. I'm gonna be myself again because Jesus Murphy, that was too much. So I think I'm gonna probably quit beer for a long time, maybe forever, I don't know. Because honestly, what's it doing for me? If for a 2-4 of beer, it's about $40 to $50. Yeah, I know in America you guys pay $20 a beer. Church rubs it in my face all the frickin' time. So I pay $50 for a beverage. That's gonna make me sick the next day. It took me a while to realize the logic in that and the fact that it was very unlogical. I needed to smarten up. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna cut out the liquor, drink a lot more water, get in better shape. You know, I got a goal to hit. My goal is by Christmas to be at least 230 pounds. That's about, what, 3 months away or so? Give or take. So yeah, I got 3 months to lose about 30 pounds. I think we can do that. I think we can lose 10 pounds a month. I think I just shit myself too. Alrighty guys, it's like quarter to 6. I need to go do some high intense interval training and get my exercise in for the day. Even though I kind of already did. Then I want to have a shower. Then I want to drink a bunch of water. Because that's the best thing to do after a workout. Oh, and I want to shave the neck beard. Double chin! Yeah! I'd say today's been a good day. Look at that. Look at that. 110 minutes of exercise today, boys. Friggin' yeah. Can you see why drinking's bad for you? Look at my resting heart rate from yesterday and Sunday. That's because of how frickin' hungover I was. My body couldn't rest. But I do like the fact that that dot is super close to the purple. We're gonna make it, boys. We're gonna get in there. Get into the purple, work our way up to the blue, and gradually into the green. But yeah, Sunday, Monday, brutal. Oh, the reason why that's all jacked over there is because I was giving her hard on those days. So I cooked myself a dinner. After I was on my workout, I went through some stuff in the air fryer. Some tornadoes and some fish. We're gonna plate that down the hatch. But let me tell you what I did for my workout today. It was crazy. So firstly, I dropped the Bowflex, took the bottom, the long pad off and turned it into a seat, released the spring and turned it into a rowing machine, where I proceeded to row 50 pounds every I do 20-second like hard reps and then 40 seconds of rest, and I did that for 10 reps straight. So it was about 15 to 18 reps per round at 10 rounds. And then I attached the pad, put it on an incline, and then I did the same 10 minutes, so 20 hard, 40 rest, of bench presses. My heart rate stayed in the 135. It was beautiful. Then I came over to Captain Noisy Pants McBike here, and I rode the shit out of that for 10 minutes of hit. If you're wondering why the WD-40's there, is because I corrected a lot of the squeaking and noisy by spraying down some joints. I know WD-40 is not a proper lubricant, but it works for the time being. What I want to do one day is tear this bike apart, get my lithium grease and get in there, and anything that moves, grease it up. But it worked fine for what I did. Like it works. So I did 30 minutes of exercise on these things, jumped in the shower, and I feel fan-frickin-tastic, boys. I gotta say, like after a workout, like when you really can get in there and you can really kick the living snot out of your body, the feeling's almost euphoric. It's friggin' awesome. Lol, tonight's meal looks like a happy face. Well, I'm gonna bring this upstairs Currently watching some YouTube. Keto Connect is doing a reaction video to another YouTuber who basically tried keto for a week and hated it. Of course you're gonna hate it after the first week. Man, the first week gave me the scoots big time. But I can't really hold it against her because, well, look at her. She's freaking hot. Holy crap. I had that fan on in the window over there. This room ever get frosty fast. It's pretty cold out right now. Well, I shouldn't even say that. It's not that bad. It's just your typical fall weather. That'll be gone. It says it's 15 degrees out, but sure don't feel no 15 degrees out there, let me tell you. But I just got done watching that video where, what's that girl's name? Gabby something or other. Where the heck was that? Gabby Hanna. Now, she basically tries it for 5 days. And she jumps into it, like, jumps into the deep end of it right away. She doesn't ease her, like I eased myself into the keto because I knew if I jumped in balls deep right away, the effects would be just horrendous. And my boss told me flat out, like, don't just start it, ease into it, because if you just shock your body right away, you're gonna have a hell of a week, maybe a hell of 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Even though I eased myself into it, I still had the keto flu. I still had the McSquirts. I still had a bad time for the first 3 weeks. Then everything balanced out. Then I started feeling good. That's when I started working out. And I was able to, like, give her and stuff. She did it for 5 days. Number one, the food she was eating weren't keto. Like, she was eating barely any fats. She was having, like, a low-fat, low-carb, low-protein diet. And she's wondering why she's always hungry. She's wondering why her performance in the gym was shit. It's like, because you're not eating enough. You're not doing it right. You're not doing keto. And the worst part is, at the beginning of the video, she's like, I'm jumping into this with no knowledge. Then how can you jump into it? It'd be like, I'm going to go weld with no knowledge of welding. Then how do you expect to be successful? I'm just saying, like, you gotta do your research before you jump into things. Like, when I did the fat fast, I did some research as per the basics. You know, have a fat coffee in the morning or a bulletproof coffee in the morning, and then just water and black coffee and green tea throughout the day until the next morning when you have another bulletproof coffee. That's what I did. But then when I started getting the cramping, I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I started watching videos on fat fasting, and that's when people were saying, add some salt to your water. But I didn't do it right. I had a 52-ounce glass of salt water when I should have had like an 8-ounce glass of salt water with like a teaspoon of salt added to an 8-ounce glass down the hatch, collar a day. Get your electrolytes going. It'll take away the cramping. Also, you're supposed to have a multivitamin a day. I wasn't doing that for the first 2 days. Then I started introducing the multivitamins. That was a game changer right there. What else? Like, there was other things that I wasn't doing that I should have been doing, and I was figuring it out as I was going. But in the end, the results were great, and it worked out for me pretty good because it helped me get over the plateau and knock 10 pounds off my weight, which was awesome. Now I'm doing intermittent fasting, basically 4 hours of an eating window, and then 20 hours where I don't eat. Like, I'm just done eating now. 8 o'clock is when the window closes. That's it, no more food. So I have a half an hour if I want to eat anything else. I'm not really hungry. I wasn't even hungry when I ate that fish and tornadoes. I just felt like I needed to eat something, so I did. But then for the next 20 hours, I'm not even going to look at food. And I've been doing that since, well, I started it on Sunday. I didn't really eat much on Sunday. No, I started it yesterday. Sunday I had to eat because, no, not Sunday. Yesterday, I started on Saturday, did it Sunday, broke it yesterday because I was just feeling like ass, so I wanted some greasy foods. So I ended up having like a steak and a bunch of other junk, and I was eating throughout the day. I had some eggs. I brought in about 1,300 calories yesterday. But today I've only eaten like maybe 700 calories, 800 calories. And that's all I'm going to do today. And then I'm just going to not eat till tomorrow. And we're going to keep doing that for the rest of the week. And it's going to work out. And the other thing is, like, I'm telling anybody right now, if you want to jump into keto, it's going to suck. Your first couple weeks are going to be hell on earth. It's what it is. So you either work through it or you quit and go back to your old diet. That's up to you. But just remember, You can buy a Fitbit and do the 10,000 steps a day. You can buy an exercise bike and do HIIT every day. But if you're eating like shit, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. You're still going to gain weight because you're eating like shit. Remember, weight loss is 75% diet, 25% exercise. And any bodybuilder, anybody in the gym will tell you that. Exercise is important, but what you put into your body is what's going to reflect your body on what it does. I've known this since back in the day with Angry Joe at the gym. You know, we would go to the gym big time. We would hammer it out. Afterwards, we go to the Hortons, and the Hortons down on Lakeshore had a Wendy's restaurant built into it. And we would kick the living crap out of ourselves in the gym. But then we'd go to the Hortons, and Joe would go right to Wendy's and buy like a Baconator, 2 junior cheeseburgers, and 3 packs of fries, and destroy that. Now, I was losing weight, but he wasn't seeing any weight loss, and he couldn't figure out why. And it's like, bro, the bullshit you're eating, you can't do that. But I'm hungry. Well, eat good foods then. Like Wendy's is disgusting for you. All that starch and stuff. And the fries, like, yeah, okay, they come from potatoes, but it's starch. You can't be doing that. So he would go to the gym, maybe burn off 600-700 calories, and then hit Wendy's and just pack on 3,000. So in the end, he's taking in 2,400 calories over. That's not good for you. I used to just go to Hortons and have a green tea. Maybe 2. So one night I had 5. I like green tea. It's pretty good for you. But it's like, it all comes down to your diet and what you put into your body. And the proof of the pudding there was from 2013 to, 4 months ago, all the bullshit I've been doing. Drinking all that beer. Like, man, I was buying a 15-pack probably every second night of Miller High Life or Pilsners or James Reddy's, and I was driving those into me. I was drinking every night. And that adds up. Over time, that's going to really add up and give you a good old friggin' beer locker. The garbage foods I was eating. I would go out and, like, one chicken wing, guys, I shit you not, is 80 calories. I would go out and buy a bag at 2.1 kilograms, that's 4 pounds. I would put it on the barbecue it up, pour it into that chicken bowl I have, and I would destroy that as a meal. There was about maybe 30 in there. So 30 at 80, you're looking at 2,400 calories in one meal. Sure, but it's chicken, Adam. Chicken's good for you. But when you take in too much stuff and you can't use it because all I did was sit around like I'm doing right now and not work out, not do anything, just sitting around doing dick all, not even burning the calories. Your body has to do some of that, so it stores it as fat for a later day in case something happens where you can't eat. Now it's got something to pull from. Well, that's going to happen over time, and it's going to be a bad time. Because I've been seeing the trend on Facebook lately. A lot of my friends are posting, their biking trips. They go out biking on their pedal bikes, and they're using an app on their phone. I can't remember what it's called, but the Fitbit has it as well. And it geo-maps your route that you took on your bike and tells you how many kilometers you rode. Or they're doing the walk where they shows, oh, well, you walked 3 kilometers, and it draws out on Google Maps the path you walked. And the other one is the step counters. People are posting how many steps they've done in a day. But these same people are posting stuff like, oh, we went to Boston Pizza, and they're showing like the great big fishbowl Caesar. You guys remember those? I filmed those back in the day. It's like a fishbowl filled with Caesar stuff, like vodka, Clamato. Clamato is just all sugar. That's bad. They're doing all this, having the big friggin' pasta bowls, and when you go to a restaurant, they don't give you a proper portion. They just load it up. So you get this massive portion of stuff that you just feel compelled to destroy there. And if you don't, you end up taking it home and then destroying it later that night because carbohydrates, once you burn them, you're hungry again. So it's the way she goes. But it's like they go out and do like a 1 kilometer walk or a 2 or 3 kilometer walk, burn off like 300, 400 calories, and then they reward themselves with this high carb
high-calorie food that is literally reversing all the work they've done. You know, it'd be like spending a good time building a deck, but the wood you're using is rotten. So in the end, the deck's going to fall down on you anyway, so why'd you even waste your time? And that's what I'm getting at, is like, it took me a while to see the light. And honestly, you know, a lot of you are probably saying, Adam, you're the last one to be preaching this, because, like, look at you. You friggin' got super big because you were just eating the bullshit, and you were going out to, like back in the day, going out to Boston Pizza or Mexicali Roses every night, and you weren't doing anything. You were barely ever going out. You weren't working out. You were doing nothing, and you got fat. And now that I see this, especially with all the friggin' nonsense going on in the family, like, well, with diseases and heart diseases and cancers and all this shit, I now realize, like, listen, I'm gonna be 40 in March. Like, 6 months from now, 40. I gotta step up my game. I gotta, like, start, you know, fixing myself, because I'm getting into the age of heart attacks. I'm getting into the age of stroke. I'm getting into the age of cancers. I'm getting into the age where shit could really go wrong for me, and I could be down for the count. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's ready for that yet. But what I'm getting at is, if you don't take care of yourself, age is going to catch up. Shit's going to happen. You could see yourself not feeling too damn good. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, you know, it's all. But then again, once again, who am I to preach, right? You can do what you want. You can eat the diet you want to eat. You can exercise if you want to exercise. You can sit on the couch and watch SpongeBob SquarePants and drink beers all the time. I don't care. I'm just saying that, like, I'm done with liquor. That Sunday was an eye-opener on how bad I felt, and like, I haven't thrown up in a long time. And for liquor to do that to me, that was a sign of, okay, you know what? I need to quit torturing myself. That's it. We're done. We're done. Shutting her down. No more liquor. You know, in a month, my buddy's birthday's coming up, and I'm invited to go out to the bar, and if I have the weekend off, I'm going to go, but I won't drink. I'm sure they got non-alcoholic stuff there, like Diet Pop or something. Like, I don't really want to have Diet Pop, but if I have to, I will. Like, aspartame's not exactly the best shit for you, but it's better than getting on the liquor. But that's the battle plan there, is I'm done with liquor. And I was thinking about it too, like, every weekend, even though when I started the keto diet, I was buying that low-carb beer, that clear, Sleeman's Clear 2.0, or the MacLeod Ultra. Every time I go to the beer store and I bought a 2-4, it was $48.50. Every week, I bought a 2-4 of Tall Boys. These things. I actually got some empty cans over here that I got to crush and bag and bring back. These things. Okay? Sleeman Clear 2.0. 2 carbs per serving. The Tall Boys have 3 carbs per serving. But still, I would go through a case of that every week, a 2-4, and $48 a week. You do the math over a month, that's about $200. Like, if you're buying, let's just assume, I know some months have 5 weeks, but let's just say every month is 4 weeks. That's $200 a month. In 3 months, that's $600. Okay? That's $2,400 a year. Right now, I have a bit of an issue. This computer, this Dell XPS 8300, it's slowly dying. USB ports are constantly disconnecting. That's an issue. It's having other performance issues when I'm trying to video render. It's not as fast as it used to be. Basically, the computer's showing its time of age. Like, I bought the damn thing back in 2010. It's 2018. I've had it for almost 9 years now. Like, I got that there back in, I think it was January, February of 2010. And it's been the gaming rig for Skaven Games. It's produced a lot of videos for Skaven Games. It's edited so many vlogs. Back then, until all my shit got moved back into the here. And then I was using that computer over here on this desk for gaming. And then I was using the XPS 9000 as my my editing rig. And then I got this thing right here, the CyberPower. And then that was over there, and I was using that for editing. And then I decided I wanted to dedicate that just to strictly gaming, because it's a good rig, and that's all I want to do with this, play video games. But it's showing its signs of age, and I don't want to use the XPS 83, the CyberPower for video editing. What I'd like to do is get something with more cores and threads. Now you're probably saying, Adam, what about that Dell workstation you bought a long time ago off of eBay? Funny story about that. It still works. It still runs, still does its job, but it's not as fast as that friggin' XPS 8300. It's probably faster now, but it wasn't as fast. Like when I was trying to edit on Premiere, it would do a 1-to-1, but the XPS 8300 did a better job. Weird, right? How the hell is that possible? Well, the XPS 8300 turbo boosts to 4 gigahertz. The Xenon processors in that computer don't turbo boost. They're stuck at 2.53 gigahertz, and they just hold that all day long. So the clock speed is playing a big role. You'd think having all those extra cores kicking in and helping out would help, but not really. It's the cores don't even get loaded. They sit at 50%. It's just not working. So what I was thinking was of just buying a cheap upgrade kit, because I know the motherboard, that's what's going in that XPS 8300. That's a given. There's probably capacitors that are mushrooming and they're probably going to pop. Sure, I could take the board out and just replace the caps and call it a day. But like, come on, it's a second generation i7. It's seen its life. It's missing a bunch of the features that new software wants. Editing in Vegas is even kind of painful because you can't live preview because it just can't keep up. So what I was thinking about doing was going with Ryzen, because they got the multi-core, multi-thread. And the one I was looking at, a lot of you are probably thinking 2700X, but I was actually looking at that 2600X. 6 cores, 12 threads, clocked in at like what, 3.7 gigahertz, turbo boost to 4.2. That shit would be pretty quick, and it's cheap. Like, I priced out a motherboard, got to go with micro ATX. I'm literally going to upgrade that case. I'm going to make that thing go. So the motherboard I priced out, micro ATX, it has the onboard M.2, so I could easily pick up like a 250 gig M.2 to load Windows 10 onto, and probably the editing software. On top of that, I have the 120 gig SSD in there, which I'll probably pull and use somewhere else. And then I got the 1 terabyte and the 2 terabyte hard drive in there, the platter drives. That I'll probably use. The other board I was looking at actually had 2 NVMe slots. One for a hard drive and one for this AMD cache, which basically works like Intel's, what the hell do they call that memory? Optane. Speeds up platter drives. I was thinking, ooh, that could be even cool too. Run one of those, speed up the platter drives, get more out of it, more bang for your buck. Video card, I would just use the 960 because that card still does a damn good job. I don't need to upgrade that, and go from there. But then I was thinking, well, shit. See, Windows 10 has an issue. If you change too much hardware profile on your computer with Windows 10, i.e. the motherboard, processor, it'll unregister itself and think that it's running on a whole new computer. That's an issue. Simple things like adding more RAM. Oh, that was a poop. Simple things like adding more RAM, not a big deal. Changing out the video card, sometimes not a big deal. But when you start adding things like a new motherboard and a new processor, Windows goes, whoa, 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 pump the brakes there, Super Chief. This ain't the same computer. You owe us a license, and you gotta buy a new license. Which is why I was thinking about going the other route. That's just buying a pre-built with an already license of Windows 10. Like Dell has some, HP has some, Acer has some, Asus has some. Not gonna do it right yet. I'll wait till Christmas. This thing here will hold out, and if she does pop like a zit, well, I'll just bin it and I'll friggin' start using the gaming rig to edit the videos for the time being. I don't want to do that because video editing really stresses out hardware and lowers their life expectancy. But, you know, push comes to shove and I gotta do it. I gotta do it. The other thing I want to try is that Dell laptop. See how well that thing renders. Because it's got 4 cores, 8 threads. It's only 2 gigahertz, turbo to 3 point something. But with the 16 gigs of RAM and the onboard Vega card, which really desperately needs AMD to pick up the pace and make some frickin' drivers for, I think it might be okay for rendering. It might do the job. So, you know, push comes to shove, I just set the AMD laptop over yonder and I edit off of that. But I was thinking about waiting until Boxing Day, like the day after Christmas, and seeing what the deals are. I'm sure like last year they had a deal on an i7 7700 computer for like $897 or something like that, and the year before that it was a 6700. They had a deal on it. I'm pretty sure that this Christmas there will be a deal somewhere from Acer, Asus, HP, and or Dell for a desktop with a decent setup. If it doesn't come with a video card, it comes with the onboard. I don't really care. I got a 960 I can ramp into it. That'll give it all the friggin' GPU power for rendering effects. And the only effects I use lately is fade transitions, because I haven't really gotten crazy on it. But yeah, that's the predicament I'm in. The XPS 8300 is nearing end of life, mainly because of the motherboard. And it's funny, I looked it up online and a lot of people are having issues with the motherboard on those. So yeah, and they're trying to order replacement motherboards, and I'm thinking, okay, Dell wants $300 for the replacement motherboard, but for an extra $200 you can get a Ryzen board, a B350 chipset with a 2600X, and if you want to save some money, get a 1600X. You want to save a lot of money if you don't have a video card and you're running one of the i5s with a GMA, then just get that Ryzen 2400G with the built-in Vega 13 card or whatever the hell it is, and roll that. Those Vega 13 cards aren't having any of the problems that I'm having on my laptop, so that could be a solution for them. So that's basically where I stand now. Do I upgrade? Risk having my license revoked? My Windows license, not my driver's license. Or do I say screw it, just buy another pre-built, roll that for as long as I can? That's where I sit. The bonuses? Pre-builts are usually cheap. You know, you can pick up right now an i5 8400 at 2.8 gigahertz, 6 core, 6 threads. They have one at Staples for $699, so those are relatively cheap. Dell even has a couple on their site at that price, and I know Best Try has an HP for that price. So those are an option. I'm not ready to buy yet though, obviously, but I'm just saying. Or do I custom build and go from there? Or just upgrade the XPS 8300? So that's a decision I need to make over time. I got plenty of time though. I don't think that computer is going to fry on me any day. But if she does, like I say, I have a backup and I have my laptops. So push comes to shove, I can shove back. Anyway guys, you probably noticed in the beginning of the video there was jump cuts galore. Then in the end of the video it just played straight through. There's a reason for that. Remember I was bitching about that computer being hurting? Well, I was trying to do the jump cuts and it kept locking up. I had to keep closing Vegas and going through Task Manager and all that stuff, and just annoying. Just really annoying. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to leave it long form. Put it in there. You can always watch it at 2 times the normal speed. That's kind of fun. But I've noticed the reason why it does that is because of the format of the videos coming out of this camera. When I recorded with the DSLR, the video footage being MP4 was easier to edit. It was like no lag, just bulletproof video coming out of the damn thing. But when I edit, when I film with this, because it uses a special mode called AVX, which is something Sony developed based off the AVC, what the frig is it called? Anyway, it's some special codec that Sony invented for doing 60 frames a second at 50 megabits a second. And it gives you a clean picture, but the problem is it's really computer heavy to edit. So what I might try for the next video that I do with this camera, it has 2 modes it can film in. And what I might try and do is use the other mode and see how that comes out for quality and stuff. Should theoretically look the same, but it should be hopefully easier to use on that computer for the time being. See, the mode I'm in now is the mode you have to film in if you're going to plug this camera into a Macintosh and upload to like Final Cut or iMovie, because it won't see the other mode and it won't import it. The other mode, what's nice about it is I use Sony Vegas and it has on-the-fly transcoding, which means it doesn't matter what format you put in there. Jesus, can you get any noisier? Doesn't matter what format you put in there, it'll transcode on the fly and give her. I can use Flash, I can use MP4, I can use WMV, I can use AVI, I can use any codec out there. DivX, even going old school, the friggin' DivX codec. And Sony Vegas will take it, and then when you render, it'll just transcode everything into one pile of shit, and it comes out whatever format you choose. Actually, what I can do, let me get into a good light. Let's go back upstairs, we'll get into a good lighted zone, and I'll shoot a clip in this mode, and then we'll cut it over to the other mode and shoot a clip, and we'll just see the difference and see if it actually makes a difference. We'll do that on this video, even though I don't know how many people are still watching. So this is the quality at the current setting, which is the AVX mode, and this is the quality in AVCHD mode, which is like what my old Panasonic used to film in. So I personally don't think there's going to be much of a difference, but we'll see what you see and then we'll see it. Sure. But anyway, people, I'm going to shut this video down here. It's gone on for a while. I don't know when I'm going to pick the camera up again. Tomorrow's Friday. Fake Friday. It's actually Wednesday, but it's Fake Friday for me. So maybe I'll film again tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what we do. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Click that freaking like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and until next time, peace the frig out.